Hello, scrappy friends. Suzanne here in the studio today with the follow-up video to the counterfeit kit that I showed you in my last video. Before I get to the layouts, I thought I would show you what I have left, talk about what I did and didn't use, and see if we come up with any revelations about my scrapbooking from that. Okay, here we have the scraps. As you will notice, well, you probably can't until I kind of move some things. There are no full pieces of paper left. There's several of these scraps that were scraps in the kit that I didn't touch at all, but most of these represent cutoffs of paper that I used. So I was real happy. These can all go into my scrap box. I also did really, really well on the loose embellishments. There's not a whole lot of this left. I used quite a bit of the wood and just a little bit of everything. I really enjoyed doing that. I really enjoyed using the little bits and bobs. It made the layering and clustering a lot of fun on my kit. So that worked out well, having things out of the package, getting a lot of that used up. Okay, stickers. I did use something out of almost every one of these. I used this and this. There were only 2 cards I had left of all the daily life kind of cards. I only had 2 left over. I had quite a bit of the chipboard left over, but I used 5 or 6 pieces of that. I used some of these puffies. I used some of the flare. I used some of my odd stickers. I used a few off of the Teresa Collins. I used a little bit of the Pink Fresh chipboard. I used quite a few of the Pink Fresh puffies. I used almost all of this, the Best of Friends from Echo Park. That's something I really wanted to use up, so that worked out well. I don't have much left on this sticker sheet either. And I managed to use all 3 of these alphabets, but of course you know how alphabets are. Those take forever to use up. So all of that worked out well. So what didn't work out well? Some of this I probably could have predicted. I didn't use any washi tape, which was kind of surprised me. I just had this one. It was a recent purchase. I just didn't get to it, but I did use every single type of ribbon I had in my kit, and I've already put those back in my ribbon drawer, but you'll see lots of ribbon on my layouts. I didn't use the Nuvo drops. And basically I just didn't want to take time for them to have them dry. I'm not big into mixed media, and so if I'm going to use it, I need to sit down and say, okay, I'm doing messy stuff today so that it can all dry. So those 2 things did not get used. I didn't reach for my little bling book at all. I also didn't use the stamps, and I really thought I would. But again, it's a time factor. And then I didn't use the rub-ons or the Chamel acrylic. This particular sticker sheet, the days of the week. It's too bad I could have used one that said months of the year. This, I didn't use sequins. I didn't even open the new enamel dots, more rub-ons, and then this. So that's really not too bad for things that I didn't use. So I'd give myself a B+ on using what was in the kit. Now let's look at the layouts. Here is the first one, Embrace Today. To use photos for this kit, I started sorting, editing, and printing my 2022 photos. And here's one of the first stories I thought about telling. February is the absolute coldest month here in Indiana each and every year. So there's plenty of pictures of snow and snow thawing and icy sidewalks. But then I also noticed there were a lot of pictures of the ways in which we try to keep things cozy and warm. For example, wine, Chex Mix made with Cheerios, meals in the crock pot, daiquiris and other frozen cocktails, and pie cookies right out of the oven. So I started with this sort of fabric kind of a background, this burlap, to sort of give it a warm kind of look, even though the colors are mostly cool. And then I added in a pop of yellow because, one, it goes good with gray, and then it also, you know, gives you that little bit of a happy vibe, making the best out of our least favorite time of the year. There are my clusters. It's kind of 2 on this side of the page. And then over here, I did a long one down the side. Make each day the best it can be. And used all kinds of the bits and bobs. That was a lot of fun. Stickers and buttons and epoxy and enamel dots and a little bit of everything. So that's the first 2 pages. Another thing that tends to happen during the winter months is I clean out my china cabinet. You know, get the glass all shiny, dust off everything inside, and rearrange it, which is the fun part, makes the other part a lot more bearable. Seem to have a theme going on here, don't I? Anyway, I've used a lot of ribbon on this. As you can see here, there's 2 pieces of ribbon here and 2 pieces of ribbon here. And then again, I've got 2 over here and they're split. For my focal point, my china cabinet in the dining room, you can see there, this is layered. One is 1/4 inch smaller than the other, and that's so I could tuck this wreath underneath the focal point photo. And then here we have the beginning of the title, Collect, Display, and Enjoy. A lot of these treasures have been collected over our 30+ years of marriage. Some thrifting, some things were gifts, some things I just bought and remembered buying. So these are my treasures. Here are my other 2. There's the other wreath, and then a big flower down here. So there's that. I liked how that turned out. And it turns out that yellow is one of the main colors also in my dining room. So the color scheme of that worked out nicely. Okay, let's try a single. This pink paisley memorandum paper was one of the ones I was really looking forward to using. And this turned out to be a lot of fun. If you're wondering what I look like, this is me here. I'm trying to get a selfie of myself for putting on the internet. I've used 3 of the die cut folders here. And the top one had today on it in gold, so then I made a visual triangle of gold. I had to go find this gold card or frame in my stash. And this I had pulled for the kit. That's the only sticker I actually used out of that. And then this is actually a card here that I cut the typewriter out of. So I think this turned out really fun. Alrighty. Close up of those. Another single. Our son and daughter-in-law raised chickens, and when they were gone one time early in the year, we had to go check on the chickens. So I got a little punny with the title called Chicken In, because we were checking in on the chickens. My journaling is here on this card. This has 8 layers on it. I counted them, including more ribbon. Here I've got 2 ribbons put together. And if you can see, I stapled them in 2 different places. I thought that was a cute idea. I used a little twine from my stash. I guess it's crochet, heavy crochet thread, I guess is what that actually is, and for the tag. So 3 fun clusters, but lots of layers, including these 4x6 cards. I really enjoyed using a lot of those up, and I just use them as though they were paper here, even though they were 4x6 cards. I could have cut them down to other sizes, but I just decided to overlap them at an angle. So I really like how that turned out. Very, very fun. Next up, chickens are great, but doxies are better. Here is the famous or infamous Duke, His Royal Highness, our grand dog. We were dog sitting him a couple of times early in the year too, as well as checking in on the chickens. As you can tell, I'm quite fond of him. Check out these clusters. I managed to use those wood stars because I thought they matched his coat so well. Got a couple of baskets here because he has baskets of goodies at our house. True happy place. He's there on the ottoman. That is where he spends most of his time. Isn't he cute? Capture the moment. As you might have recalled from the previous video, I didn't think I was going to use this camera paper, but the longer I saw it in my kit and kept, you know, going past it, I'm like, I really did want to use it. So in order to do so, I did have to get, I pulled out something from my scrap bin, some Cartabella, to mix in with it. So that strip across the top and this are all Cartabella. And then the matching stickers, I think were also the Cartabella. So I didn't reach for too much outside of my stash, but on this one that came in handy. So I think I did a pretty good job with this kit. This next one is a little bit different because this will hold pictures of me and my good friend Elle. Of the people I talk to on the phone who are not family but friends, Elle is the one most often who I'm chit-chatting with. She is not on the internet, nor does she want to be on the internet, so I used placeholders for this layout, and I can put the actual photos on later. This is that Echo Park, the best of friends, and as you can see, the layout pretty much made itself. I had the 2 pieces of paper. I flipped it over to get this side. It's on a base of some close to my heart linen. And then I just went, this strip is from my, from my scrap bin. And then I just went crazy with the stickers. Hello today, ring ring. She actually is one of the few people that calls me on the landline at home, so these telephones were so absolutely spot on. When she calls, it's always going to be a day of fun. Absolutely call me anytime. And then I love this banner here. Elle loves her coffee, so if we're thrifting or something, there's usually a stop at the coffee shop first. Okay, that turned out really great. Here's a fun one. Here's some more of that pink paisley memorandum paper. Here I've double matted it on some lemonade and glacier cardstock from Close to My Heart. Then use some of my Close to My Heart mix-ins here and here. This is our anniversary this year. 37 years he's put up with me. Got some nice clusters going on. The good stuff. And then down here, I actually had to look up what butterfly kisses were. I wanted to make sure it was appropriate. And apparently it is, as butterflies are said to kiss people who are madly in love. So there you go. Alrighty, there's that one. And then last but not least, here is sort of a everyday life kind of page for the month of January in 2022. Got all kinds of things going on here. New year, new clothes, dark, quiet, early mornings, antiquing finds, scrapbooking with my sister, and National Puzzle Day, where hubby actually let me put in the last piece. Isn't that fun? I just spread some of those chipboard flair on the page, 5 of them, and then I went back and then turned those into little clusters. So, It doesn't look like it's just sneezed on the page. It looks kind of intentional, I hope. Let me give you a close-up of some of them. Okay, so that made a total of 12 layouts. I was super, super happy about getting all of that done and getting the start of my 2022 pictures, you know, because once you get started, then you tend to keep going. So hopefully that will be the case. Otherwise, I'm a little scrapped out. I'll put away the bits and bobs of this kit, throw away some things I don't think are ever going to get used, and then I'm going to move on to some card making. So hopefully I will see you back here soon with a card making video. In the meantime, if you'd like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it so much. Thanks for your time and attention. Bye for a bit.